Butali Group channel. Today we have our very own Mr. Butali. For the viewers out there who do not know who you are and what you do, please tell us who you are.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you, viewers out there. My name is Tshiluna, founder and CEO of Butali Group. At Butali Group, we do a number of things. One of those, we specialize with dignified funerals. We also have a law firm called Tshiluna Attorneys Incorporated. We do financial planning in Butali Financial Services. We have financial planning where we specialize with estate planning, we specialize with insurance, and all other types of insurances. And we also do deal with regulatory training in terms of financial service industry. That's what we do basically in Butali Group.
Okay, so today we are here to speak about estate planning specifically and why every family needs a plan.
Yeah.
And for those who have out there who think that estate planning is only for the rich, can you tell us exactly what is estate planning?
Thank you very much for that question. Look, it is actually a very critical point that we need to talk about estate planning and do away with this norm that it's for only the rich. Estate planning is for everyone. As long as you earn an income, you need to have estate planning, because on estate planning, we talk about everything that you own, everything that is yours. And we also talk about everything that you owe. So when it happens that life happens in you, we don't know when, because it never sent invitation. But when you pass on in this world, we need to know in terms of your asset, what you own and how it's going to be distributed amongst your loved ones or amongst your children or amongst everyone else. And if you owe people or you owe companies, we also need to know how you have planned in terms of how you're going to settle the debts, because even if you die, you still need to pay people that you owe.
Okay, so what happens when someone dies without a will?
Look, there's a lot of challenges in South Africa, and one of the issues are people, they ignore to have a will, and they say people will see it after, right? And then you find that you don't have a will, you have a land somewhere else, you have a property. I can give an example with a person who earns about 22,000 a month, and they bought a house and a bond that they pay roughly 6,000 or 7,000 rand, and 20 years later they finish paying for that house, and now they own that particular house. They do not have a will. But when they pass on, we need to know who are we transferring that particular house to. Then it is very critical for anyone to have a will. You do not have to have millions in your account to have a will. But even when you do not have millions, but you have income, it's very critical that we have a will. Some of the challenges that we see is you can die anytime. You can be hit by accident or anything. People are fighting and then you die and you don't even have a will. Or you had a life partner, or you've been married in customary marriage that you do not have a will, and you have a life partner that you stay with. Now you paid off that house. They want to claim the house and then they leave your minor children out of it, and you don't have anything to say because you're no longer there.
And then for people who do not know when they should do estate planning, how to go about it, and when to start doing estate planning, at what stage in life should people consider?
Look, there's number of stages that we can look at. Firstly, when you get your first job, I think one of the critical things you must do is to start doing your estate planning. How you're going to use your income to create wealth amongst yourself. Secondly is when you have a life partner or you have a marriage that you stay with, and you need to have estate planning. Or when you buy your first property, you need to have a plan around estate planning. And obviously, when you're married or you have a life partner, you give birth to children. So you need to also have estate planning as to when life happens to you, what is going to happen to those minor children? How are they going to be taken care of? and stuff like that.
And besides a will, what other core documents should viewers consider?
Yeah, look, most people, they make a mistake that once they have a will, everything is sorted. But you can also have what we call guardianship nomination, where in your guardianship nomination you indicate who's going to be a guardian for your children, so that they don't just pick and choose. And also we have a document called the power of attorney that gives a particular attorney that you are appointed to execute your wishes and to make sure that all your assets are protected and stuff like that. And we also have what we call a living will, that you do it now while you're still alive, and then you make sure that everything is sorted it according to your wishes. It is in support of when you have passed on.
And how does estate planning intersect with wealth creation?
At Butali Financial Services, we deal more with estate planning, financial planning, and so on. In our financial planning process, we touch base on two elements, which is wealth creation and wealth protection. So when you talk about estate planning, it intersects in a way that when we deal with wealth creation, that is when we would also deal with how we're going to have a trust, if you need a trust, how we're going to deal with a capital gain tax, how we're going to deal with your estate duties, and then whatever that you have created in your wealth, how we're going to protect it against any other thing that might want to take away what you've built over the years. So they go hand in hand, and then in estate planning we call it wealth creation and wealth protection.
There are so many misconceptions out there, and people go with that. Can you tell us what are the most common myths that you encounter?
Yeah, look, people, they'll tell you that they're not a dying type, so they don't need a will now. And obviously you don't know when life is going to happen to you. You don't know when you're going to die, because there's no invitation for that. And other things they'll tell you, because they don't have money, they don't need to have a will or to have an estate planning. But as I've already mentioned, that once you own something, even if you own a printer, or you own a land, even if there's nothing, or you own livestock or so on, you need to have estate planning that you articulate as to how your assets need to be distributed. So there's number of things that people will say. They say, we don't need a will. But look at, you can just reflect closer to your family, maybe last week or last month or last year, where there was a death, and you did not even know what to do with the property or the estate of that particular person who passed on. So that would be a wake-up call for you to say, you need to have an estate planning.
And for those who want to cut cost, because I mean estate planning comes with a cost as well. And for viewers who want to cut cost, can DIY online templates work?
Yeah, look, there's always people that they say you can do everything because of this AI, this technology, this Google, and everything like that. But it's always necessary and very important that you consult a legal or a financial practitioner who is registered and then who understand what you do. So in terms of the cutting the cost, while you do your estate planning now, that's when you also identify how much is going to be needed at the time of death. And then you can start planning it now. It becomes easier when you break it into small pieces. To say, for example, if you need 1,000 rand at your life expectancy death, and you can decide now to say, if I pay 10 rand now, or towards the cost of my estate administration, then I'll have it. We also, at Butali Financial Services, we also have different plans that you can have in terms of how you will cover the cost of the administration of your estate, or the estate duty, or the master's fees, or whatever the cost that need to be. And if you have debt as well, we have a plan that we can do in your estate planning that you will then be able to cover. And that's when they say rest in peace, you will really rest in peace, because you would have planned your estate, you would have planned your life very well, and then you know that when you pass on, you're not leaving problems to those that you alleged to love.
And how does one balance traditional, cultural traditions with legal requirements?
Yeah, look, we respect very much the traditions, and we understand that people normally they would just say the families get together, they pay whatever they want to pay, and then they recognize the marriage as such. Even our South African courts and then our South African law recognizes that as customary marriages. But look, you need to be very careful of how you do it. One, or obviously, you need to consult a legal practitioner and a financial practitioner to have your plans right. We always advise people that they need to consult the legal practitioner and the financial practitioner before they pay the lobola, so that it does not have consequences after. For example, if you pay the lobola and you marry in customary marriage, automatically, if there's no ANC or antenuptial contract, it becomes a community of property, which means if you die and you don't have any will, you don't have estate plan in place, it means automatically anyone can claim, and then you'll be your asset will be distributed in interstate succession, of which it is very something that if you have minor children, it will take forever for them to benefit from your estate, because there's no direction, there's no indication of your estate planning. It's what we always call that people they not necessarily fail to plan, but they plan to fail.
Where can viewers get help?
Viewers can get hold of us in the details on the screen. Butali, you can find us, or you type class Tshiluna, you will find us, and then you can make an appointment, and then we can discuss your estate planning.
And your website?
Our website is www.butaligroup.co.za, and you can be able to set an appointment or on our calendar, and you can come and see us. And I think one of the critical issues is we're going to have different episodes talking about different things, but when you come, you must understand that you're coming for consultation. So you must call us, or you must book for consultation, or you must call us to find us when are we available, so that you don't just come and you don't find us in the office, and then you say maybe you travel for free and you do not find us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Butali, for coming through today, and thank you for the viewers. Till next time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.